So Honor's back with a couple of new devices, well, 3 devices actually. It's the new Honor 200 series, and we have the Honor 200 Pro, the Honor 200, and there's also a light version as well, which I don't have in this video. But we're going to talk about this too and see what they're about. They look great if you see them right now on the screen straight away. They come in different colors, and we have the Honor 200 Pro, which is the white one here, moonlight white, and we also have the 200, which is the emerald green right here. So let us know what you think straight away in the comments below of this design and the color. In the box, you get everything you need to get started besides the charging brick. You get USB-C cable, well, USB-A to USB-C cable. You get, with the Honor 200, you get a silicone case in there as well, and you get your SIM ejector tools in both boxes. But that's about it, nice and simple, nice and straightforward. And you can see the devices themselves. They look very similar in terms of the design, the camera array design, even in terms of size, they're very similar in size as well, with just marginal differences when it comes to the size differences. When it comes to the ports and stuff like that that's available, we look on the right side of both devices. We have our volume rocker and a power button there, and same thing on both devices. Up top we have a speaker grill, IR blaster, microphone, and at the bottom we see the SIM card tray, microphone, another grill there, and USB-C ports for data transfer and charging your device. On the left side there's nothing there, just sits nice and flush, but generally they both feel nice and comfortable in hand to hold in terms of how they feel. They're not heavy at all as well. In fact, the Honor 200 Pro is only 199 grams. Elsewhere, in terms of the display, on the Honor 200 Pro we have a 6.78 inch AMOLED quad curved floating display. They say it's super dynamic vivid display, and it's 120 Hz refresh as well. And in terms of resolution, you're looking at 2700 by 1224 with 4000 nits peak brightness, so that's HDR brightness, and you also have 437 ppi. So for the Honor 200, the smaller brother, the younger brother to the Pro, we have 6.7 inch AMOLED quad curved display as well. Well, I say as well in terms of the quad curved display, and you also get that super dynamic vivid display as well. 120 Hz refresh, 2664 by 1200 in terms of resolution, and again 4000 peak brightness, 4000 nits peak brightness, and 435 ppi. In terms of color availability, there's going to be coral pink, there's also moonlight white, just like the Pro here, and there's also going to be this emerald green, which is really nice, and also a black version available. I saw like the pattern on the back as well. I like the way when you shimmer against the light, you can just see the swirly pattern on the back of it, which is really nice. It's got this marble sort of effect. For the Honor 200 Pro, the color option is going to be this moonlight white. There's also going to be a black version and ocean cyan as well. So overall, they look very similar in size, shape, and just generally just the design of what they look like. But there are places where they differ ever so slightly, and that's, for starters, the processor. But before we talk about the processor, let's talk about this camera configuration, because this is a triple camera setup. And for the main camera, we have a 50 megapixel f1.9 aperture portrait main camera. I'll talk more about the portrait side of things because they've collaborated with a photographer studio to bring us some AI mixed with color science and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk through that as well. And that main camera gives you OIS and EIS. You have a super dynamic H9000 sensor in there, so it should be producing some really good shots when we take it on the road and test this. Then we have a 50 megapixel f2.4 telephoto camera. It also has OIS and EIS as well, and that's rocking a Sony IMX856 sensor. And then there's a 12 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide and macro camera with 112 degrees field of view. On the front, for the selfie, we have a 50 megapixel portrait selfie camera. There's actually 2 cameras there, so this should go really wide when it comes to taking selfies and actually getting more people in the shot, as you can see. So you get a lot more in your shot with this front-facing camera. For the Honor 200, we have a triple camera setup as well. So 50 megapixel f1.95 super large sensor, this camera there. So this is got OIS on the main camera as well. It's a Sony IMX906 sensor, it's custom, and then there's a 50 megapixel f2.4 telephoto camera with OIS and EIS again, and that is a Sony IMX856 sensor. And then there's a 12 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide and macro camera with 112 degrees field of view. And on the front we have a 50 megapixel selfie camera, portrait selfie camera on the front. So this one's a single lens, it doesn't have that dual setup on the front. In terms of collaboration, some of the brands collaborate with Leica, for example, but these guys have gone and collaborated with Arcourt Portrait Studio, so that way they can configure some of the color science and work with AI to give us a really nice portraiture when it comes to the way this functions. But back to the processor power in there, we do have a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 processor in the Honor 200 Pro, and that's coupled with Adreno 735 when it comes to the graphics. This is capable in terms of charging. You're looking at 100 watt supercharge wired and 66 watts for wireless charging. You can also do reverse charging on the Honor 200 Pro, which is pretty cool. Battery size is 5,200 mAh battery in the Honor 200 Pro, and also that should last you more than a day. They said something around 6 to 1 hours of non-stop video playback. I know my friend Ben, a lover of tech, is going to do the battery drain test to let you guys know how the battery goes. So do check his channel out. For storage and RAM size, we have 12 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of internal storage. And also this is running on the latest Magic OS, which is based on Android 14. For the standard Honor 200, we have Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 in there, and this has 5,200 mAh battery. It supports 100 watt wired charging. There's no wireless charging in this one, unfortunately, but this is the compromise you get when you get the smaller version or the younger brother. And for storage and memory, it starts from 8 gigabytes of RAM and then you go up to 12 gig if you like. If you go for 8 gigabytes of RAM, you will get 256 gigabytes of internal storage. But if you go 12 gigabytes of RAM, you can go up to 512 gigabytes of internal storage. This is also running on Magic OS 8.0, which is based on Android 14. And this has also got the same photography science with R-Court. So we're going to be seeing the same sort of philosophy when it comes to photography on this. It doesn't stop there though, because there's a lot of AI features on here as well that we've become accustomed to with Honor. So if we go into settings and we go to Assistant, we can see what options we have on both devices. On the Honor Magic 200 Pro, we have a bit more in terms of smart interaction, but for the services, we have AI suggestions, which will suggest apps based on habits and location. And then we look at Magic Text. This allows you to extract text from apps. So for example, or just what's on screen. So if there's like a post on Instagram and there's a text on there that you want to copy, the caption, for example, press on hold the text and you can extract the text from it. And then we have Magic Portal, which is also pretty cool. With this one, you can just drag stuff into different apps, for example. So if there's a photo that's been sent to you, you can quickly drag from there, drag it straight into your gallery. You can drag from there your gallery, for example, drag it straight into Instagram stories if you want to share it. So that's just another way to just get you doing things in a more efficient way. Elsewhere, in terms of biometric, we have fingerprint unlock, we have face unlock, and also your regular PIN if you wish to do so. In the display settings, we can scroll down and have a look at options as well. For example, this is where we can change the color temperature of the screen. We have video and answer, and also your screen refresh rate. So you can go dynamic or standard at 60 Hertz or go to the highest at 120 Hertz refresh. In camera app, this is where we see that collaboration come to life again. So if we go to portrait, right on top corner, we can see the Harcourt sort of logo that's right at the top there. So once you tap that, you can then see the option on how you overlay the feature. So you have Harcourt Vibrant, you have the color mode, and then there's also black and white as well. So it tells you what it looks like and what it's meant to do. You can shoot 2 times, 2.5 times on here, especially with that telephoto lens. It will do 2.5 times optical zoom. But yeah, you do get the black and white option as well. So you can play around with this and see what you like. You can put watermark as well if you want to jazz it up. But yeah, I took some photos earlier actually just to test that portrait mode on there, and it looks pretty good. You can see the difference as well, and the detail, the level of detail that you get in those shots thanks to those high resolution camera lenses on the back. And you can see the differences in terms of the color vibrancy when you choose between different options like the color, the vibrant one. So you can see the difference between them, which is good. For video, what's interesting, you can shoot 21:9, which is cool to see. That's just more like cinematic vibes. So if that's something that you like, you can shoot that sort of full length stuff on here. In terms of the frame rate, so you have 4K on both, although on the Pro you can shoot 4K 60, but on the other one, you can only shoot 4K 30. So on the standard Honor 200, so you can shoot up to 4K 30 on that one. So there's options there. 4K 30 is still good. 4K 60 is obviously nicer, but 30 is good as well. And you got AI options right there. So you tap the AI icon, and that will optimize your shots to make sure you get the best shot possible in every scenario that you use it in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for just the first hands-on look of the devices. They're very fluid. They look really nice in terms of the design. I love what they've done with it. Good camera as well at first glance. But yeah, overall, really good. But if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And if there's anything you want to do, you want to see on this, let me know as well so I can shoot content for you guys in terms of like review or test comparisons or anything like that. So let me know. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.